Welcome to this week's iNews broadcast. My name is Hui and this is Amelia. Hi. She will be joining us for the whole broadcast. On Saturday, 12th of April, there was a competition called the World Scholars Cup. It was hosted for the first time in Vietnam. The top 5 teams are going to compete in Singapore during the summer holiday from the 24th to the 27th of June. Congratulations to the winning team and good luck in Singapore.
24 students in middle school took off last Thursday to Malaysia for the 11th annual Model United Nations Conference and came back last Sunday. Out of 18 schools, our students represented Argentina and Syria. All the participants from ISHMIC were from grades 6 to 8, with an exception of the few high school students on the advisory panel and press team. Each representative tried their hardest and their entire team worked together and had a great conference.
Last week, on May the 15th, the senior Marissa ISHMIC players played against AS at ISHMIC. The boys won 2-1, while the girls drew 0-0.
Exams for grades 6 to 10 are starting this week on Wednesday the 23rd to Monday the 28th of April. The exam schedules are posted on Edmodo for each grade and should be sent to everyone on Outlook. Here are some of the tips for taking the exams from Mr. Robert. And we hope this advice helps you, and we wish you the best on your exams.
What will help us to relax on the exam?
I think one of the most important things you can do is get enough sleep. Because I know that you'll probably be a little bit stressed out the night before, but a good night's sleep is really, really important. And then a good breakfast, so you've got lots of energy to actually do the exam itself.
What about tips on studying?
Right, that's a good one. I think everybody studies in different ways. When I was in school, they always used to tell you, right, learn it off by heart. Sit there and say it 500 times in your head so you remember it. Well, I don't remember things like that, so different people remember things in different ways. One of the things I always do, and it just works personally for me, if I write things down a lot and then read them, then that helps me remember things. Other people remember things by doing drawings. Other people remember things by, I heard somebody did a good one where they had to remember something, so they did it in a song. And they sang it out as a song, and then they could remember it that way. There's a couple of great books where people do different things in remembering that way too. So one of the most important things is to know how you learn and how you remember. So I know you've done some things like that in life skills, but always ask your teachers different ways in which you can learn, because everybody remembers things in different ways. One thing I want you to remember though, the tests aren't weighted and they're just another NYP assessment. So don't really get stressed out, because in schools I've worked at before, it's 20% of your final grade. Well, we're not doing that. This is just a practice for you to get used to exams. I was talking to the SRC yesterday, and some of them were saying, oh, I'm getting really worried. I've never done an exam. Well, that's why we're doing it, because the more practice you get, the much better you'll get at it, and by getting better at it, then when you do the actual DP examinations, when you get to grade 12 and you get to grade 11, then they'll be easier. Think about when you play games, yeah? Who's got an Xbox? Any of you got an Xbox? PlayStation? Right, remember the first time you started playing it? You used to die all the time, didn't you? You were rubbish. You played again, you played again, you played again, you get better. That's why we're doing this.
Okay, tips while taking the test.
Planning's really important. I'm just teaching my grade 12s now that, say the exam is 2 hours long or an hour long or 90 minutes, always spend at least 15-20 minutes reading through the paper, thinking about what your answers are going to be, and planning. So don't immediately rush into doing it all the way, right? You have 5 minutes at the start of every paper to read through. I take a little bit longer, so read through all the questions, make sure you understand it, and then make sure that once you've done that, you feel comfortable and ready to start. Now, I remember when I did an exam when I was in the UK, I used to do something called O-levels and GCSEs, and I did one on geography when I was 16 years old. And I was quite good at geography, so I felt confident. I went through it all, and then I ran out of time. And then I turned over the page, and it was my favourite question, the one I could really answer really well, because I hadn't read through the paper before. I'd started straight away because I was overconfident. I didn't get a chance to answer my favourite question because I hadn't read through the paper first. So don't make the mistake I did.
And that brings us to the end of this week's podcast.
Thank you for tuning in.